Stav, Abby and Matt.
You're only a what if away from great holidays. What if? It's Aussie for travel.
Stav, Abby and Matt.
Brisbane wakes up with Stav, Abby and Matt on B105.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. Abby!
Podcasting, podcasters.
Jace can take over.
Yeah, I do you.
What? Oh, here we go.
Hello,
Oh, God.
my name's Abby Coleman. What do you want to talk about, boys? You should know that we look at you to talk about the topics.
Oh, I do so much for this show. You guys never bring anything.
Correct.
Well,
What do you sound like? You sound like Marge Simpson.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just let you guys handle it today.
Is that my voice?
It's about time you guys did something.
Okay.
No, I don't reckon it is time we did something. I'm pretty happy with the way the setup is now.
No, not
Good job,
about
Jace.
it.
Good job, Jace. Hey, big podcast today, guys. Mum's gone wild. We're getting closer and closer.
My mum jumps in.
Hear from the men who are suffering. In fact, though, we didn't really get many people calling up. Guys.
No, they're not
Too
as dumb as
scared.
us. They know not
No,
to
I
call.
think you will enjoy it when your wives go out, and you honestly do think that they deserve them.
Of course, of course. And we get points too, which is great. All right, let's get into it. Here's today's podcast.
Actually, she's Gen Z.
Sort of like Gen Z.
Finally, some Gen Z energy.
Generation lazy.
People try to put us to down. Talking about my generation.
Interesting survey came out yesterday about Gen Z.
Yeah.
This was it.
According to this survey, Australians aged 18 to 30, nearly half of them feel unprepared to manage chores, 72% feel burdened by adult responsibilities, 30% have never mowed a lawn, 45% don't know what to cook day to day, 39% take dirty clothes to their parents.
Look, I'd say everyone doesn't really want to do household chores, but maybe 100%.
Yeah.
100% feel overwhelmed by it. Look, there are those small minority that really enjoy it, and good for you. But this is what I found so interesting is that they just weren't prepared because they didn't know how to use dishwashers
Right.
or washing machines, or 30% have never mowed the lawn. Did you ever take clothes back? Because I don't think, when I moved out of home, I never returned clothes for my parents to wash.
I moved cities, so I couldn't.
Yeah, same.
I was
That's
alone.
probably the only reason why. Good point.
But I did used to ring my mum on the reg to check things like, how long do you roast chicken for?
No, you didn't.
I did,
Did you?
yeah, because I'd never
that-
really... The only thing I'd ever cooked was a Chico roll in the deep fryer or melted cheese, and then all of a sudden I'm 8 hours away trying to do dinner.
Did Ethan, your eldest, call you with any weird tasks?
He still does.
He does.
So he's 23
Yeah.
and a father to a baby, but he rang me Origin night it was actually.
Yeah.
Origin night. It was like 7 o'clock.
So he should know better.
And I knew something was up because it was a FaceTime. It wasn't a phone call. It was like, hi, Dad. It's like, hey, mate, what's up? He goes, how do you hook gas up to a barbecue?
No.
I was like, I'm like, what do you mean? And he had a new barbecue. My first question was, who put that barbecue together?
Yeah.
It was his wife's parents. They gave it to him as a gift, so
Yes.
they put it. I'm like, okay, sweet.
Right,
Because if
good.
he's hooked up a gas line, I'm like, you are not using gas. He couldn't get it to the gas bottle because he'd left the yellow. You know how when you
The
buy a
safety
gas
thing?
bottle, they leave the yellow thing in there.
Yes,
I was like,
yeah.
that has to come out first. He goes,
Yeah.
sick, sweet, Dad. Bye, Dad.
Oh, my God. That's why Scotty always goes, come on, boys, I'm going to put the Barbie. Can everyone come and watch it? And they're like, no. He's like,
see-
you got to learn.
Yeah.
That was. I felt though that was on me.
Yeah.
I should have. I had never shown him or asked him to hook
Yeah,
up the
for-
barbecue ever.
For all these people, it's kind of on the parents.
Yeah.
Do you show your kids how to do the washing? Or has Esther showed you how to do the washing?
I still get confused
Of
whether
where
or
to
not
put
whether the washing stuff goes in the number 1 or the number 2. I know it doesn't go in the flour because that is fabric softener.
In the flour?
Some washing machines have different little
Oh,
label
right,
things.
right,
If you
right.
actually look at it and you open the tray, you'll see that there's pictures as well.
We just pour ours in.
Oh,
Oh, you got a top loader.
loader.
Yeah.
yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Much easier.
Is he doing that wrong?
Each of their own.
They clean.
I've seen the way he stacks a dishwasher, and it is so triggering. It's the worst thing you've ever seen. It's not. It is.
And she's seen the wars on the TV.
No, come on. Stop.
There's Trump and there's the way he packs a dishwasher. Horrendous. Both equally as bad.
Psychotic.
Yeah. They get clean.
They don't, though. They
do,
actually
though.
don't.
But
and
they
you
do,
can't
though.
fit as many. I
But
don't
they
know,
do,
whatever.
though.
But they actually don't.
But they
When
do.
you look at it, your
But they
wife
do,
has
and then they
said
get them
that.
out and they're clean.
Yeah,
So,
she said they're not.
And you didn't have to do it.
Now
So,
listen, we're going to have to cut a deal here between you two. You're going to have to relax, okay?
I'm putting tariffs on the dishwasher.
Did you never ring home when you left?
Oh, see, mine would be about my car stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So every time I used to come home, Dad used to wash the car for me.
Right.
It used to be the thing. So I was like, bless.
So good.
Yeah, but I don't know if I used to do, I'd sort of done it at home. Because my parents, I was the third born, so I remember Mum gave up.
Correct.
Yeah. By that stage, she's like, you're 16. Yeah, that's all right. We'll go.
Some parents would like it, wouldn't they? The keeping in contact.
Yeah.
You know, the still needing to be necessary.
Yeah, but if your kid has just moved out of home, what's the call that you got of them asking, hey, my friend's daughter called and said, she had kids quite young when she called her and said, hey, do we need to pay? We've got a bill for the electricity.
Yeah.
And we just got a bill for the water. Do we have to pay for the water? And she goes, no, of course you don't. It comes out the tap. She goes, yeah, that's what I thought. She goes, I was being sarcastic. Yes, you need to
have to.
pay for the water.
But it does make sense that they're questioning this because water comes out of the sky for free. So in her brain, she's like, why are we paying for
She's
it?
like, we never asked them to contribute for bills. So when all of a sudden bills started coming, they're like, that's so strange. We have to pay for all that?
13 10 60. Have you had a child ring home? Or maybe if it's a friend or something. I'll never forget the day that my eldest son also, he'd moved out for a couple of weeks. And we're like, how are you going, cooking stuff? He goes, I made the best stir fry. I said, oh, that's great. He goes, yeah, just out of stuff that we had left in the fridge. I go, that's the perfect way to make stir
Yeah,
fry.
of course.
He goes, we had a whole iceberg lettuce. So I chucked it in.
Yeah.
In the stir fry? Did anyone eat it?
Yeah, they all ate it.
A lettuce?
Oh.
You just pretend it's cabbage. I've done that.
But it doesn't. Oh, God. It's too
In a
much
pinch.
water concentrate for it to be...
Well, someone's not invited to dinner at my house.
She will stack the dishwasher after,
Yeah,
though.
you'll love it.
13 10 60. Have you had a kid call home after they moved out?
Stav, Abby, and Matt for breakfast. B105.
Actually, she's Gen Z.
Sort of like Gen Z.
Finally, some Gen Z energy.
Generation lazy.
People try to put us to down. Talking about my generation.
Yeah, studies come out about Gen Z saying that half of them just don't feel prepared to adult. They're saying once they move out of home, they're actually struggling with the basic tasks. However, down the bottom of it, they actually say that on average they're spending $1,500 annually because they're paying for people to do it.
Oh, okay. Outsourcing.
Well, yeah, things like changing light bulbs.
You're paying people to do that. How many people does that take?
Well, some of them you can't actually do yourself, can you?
Light
Not
bulbs?
The ones that are, the permanent ones that are in the...
Oh, the downlights.
Yeah, not the downlights, but aren't there some LED ones that you need to actually have an electrician, qualified?
I think technically, you do need an electrician to do it anyway. But no one does.
Really? Most downlights, the newer ones,
spit
you
them
can
out.
pull them out and unplug and plug
And
new
they
ones
last years.
in. Marie,
Hi.
you've got a 19-year-old son.
Yeah, he's almost 20. Look, he's not living away from home, but I dare say when he does, I'm going to have all sorts of problems with that because...
Oh, Marie, you there?
Cut out on the gold part. Marie, hang on.
She's
Well,
moving
you have
around.
to work
She's
out how to
busy.
use the phone.
Well, this
No,
is
she's
the
busy,
thing,
mate.
isn't it? Isn't that part of the study?
Well, they're saying that they can do things that are real tech savvy, where the older generation have to call and ask, can you come and fix my computer, like
So
Maddie
this is
over
a
there.
two-way street here. Anita in Runcorn, what did your kids call up and ask you for?
Oh, normal stuff to start with, how do I cook this, how do I cook that? But then there was an incident where my 10-month-old grandson vomited, and another time when he actually pooped in the bath for the first time.
Right.
And we weren't quite sure, so she just called me in a panic about what to do with it all.
Oh, no. You're like, clean it?
I was like, yeah, just get it out.
Yeah.
With what?
Oh, my God.
Everyone knows you just stomp that
Waffle
down the
stomp
drain.
it.
No,
Waffle
stop.
stomp
guys,
it.
No.
please.
No.
No, so don't call us.
And No. And she's now 28 and she still calls me for, recipes and how do I make this that you made? So, yeah.
And do you mind? You don't, though, do you?
No, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we speak like 3 times a day, which is just amazing. Yeah.
I mean, it is the ultimate compliment, I guess, then, if your kids are ringing you because they're going, oh, Mum did it perfectly, so I want to do it like that.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
Do we have Anita?
We're back to
Marie.
Anita.
All right, here we go, Marie.
Marie?
Hi, sorry guys.
That's all right.
My son is, almost 20 and still living at home, but I dare say when he moves out of home, we're going to have lots of phone calls because I got home from work the other day and he said, Mum, can you please check the washing machine because I've washed something? And I thought, oh my goodness, he never does his own washing. And look, bad parenting from me. I should have taught him how to use the washing machine. But anyway, I went in there, couldn't get the door open. It was all the power seemed off. And I said, what's he done to the washing machine? And he's in there and we're trying to open the door. Then I realised, I said, if you put it on a soak cycle, he goes, I don't know, just swing the button around. I said, did you put detergent in? And he goes, you have to put what do you mean?
Oh, no.
He said, I thought the washing machine just washed it. And I said, well, you need to put detergent in.
But it's called a washing machine.
He needed it. Yeah, he was needing it to go out that night, and then it was sitting in this soak overnight soak cycle.
Yep, you can't open that door.
Oh,
no. It's like Fort Knox.
There are a lot of settings on washing machines now.
Yeah, that really does stress you out, that washing machine, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You only use one, though.
Yeah, you really do.
Yeah.
It's like a microwave. They've got all sorts of settings. It's 30 seconds.
Correct.
15 times.
When you want 7 minutes, you never press 7.
No. Who uses the weight one? That's what always blows my mind.
The
you know how
weight
it
one.
can do different temperature from weight?
And
I'm like,
defrost?
do I need to put in the weight or does it already know? Yeah, defrost.
Yeah.
Kate, in Victoria Point, what was the call that you got?
I got the call, but not from me when I moved out. It was from my mother when I moved out, asking how she empties the mouse trap with the mouse in it. And while I was in the process of explaining to my mother how to get the mouse out, it wriggled. So I had to do the half-hour drive back home to deal with her mouse trap.
Wow.
So was that
That was always her job.
Yeah.
It was always my job. Always. The mice and spiders in the house. I got the phone call about the huntsman that disappeared under the bed.
Yeah. Well, see, this is the
I
thing.
wasn't as sympathetic as she may have liked.
You are getting these calls now, but eventually you will be the one doing the calling.
Correct, yeah. Yasmin's there. Hey, Yasmin.
Oh, it's Yasmina, thank you.
Oh, sorry, Yasmina. My bad. My bad.
What did you get a call for?
So I was still at work. I was driving home. I get a phone call from my son. He still lives at home. He's 21. He'll be 22 next month. Anyway, he goes, Mum, the barbecue is on fire. What do I do? He's cooking dinner. It was his turn to cook dinner, and he makes a wicked steak. So he's like, cooking steak. He's like, no, Mum, the barbecue's on fire. What do I do? I'm like, what do you mean? What do I do? Put the fire out.
I love that you're the first person he calls.
What about 000, champ, if it's not going out?
I know, right? And I was like, who's home? He goes, Claire's home. That's his sister, and she's younger. So I said, get her to help you. I said, put the range hood down, unhook the gas bottle, and move it away from the barbecue. Meanwhile, we have a fence line neighbour that has bamboos in my head, and I'm like, if that fire gets
kindling.
Oh, awesome.
But the sister came downstairs and helped him put it out, and I was like 10 minutes. I was like flying through, like trying to just get home.
Good on you, Yasmina. Now, Stav's mum has just called through, and I reckon we just take her live.
Okay.
Do we just whack her
Stav's like,
straight up?
all right. Here we go. Hey, Anne.
Hello, how are you?
Good. What I dread to think, but what do you got for us?
Do you remember when you moved out with Sharon and Drew?
Yes.
And I came round to visit you?
Yes.
And I went to the toilet and I said, Stav, this toilet is absolutely disgusting. And you said, no, Mum, I've got the duck, and the duck just flies round and eats it. And I said, no, the duck doesn't. You need rubber gloves and you need a brush. Oh, no, the duck doesn't,
The duck
Mum.
does
The
it.
duck
Did you just thought that you just flush it and
That's what it does on the ad.
No.
The duck flies round and makes it all shiny.
Yeah.
That's the little cake that you put in there.
Yeah.
Apparently it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
No.
What does it do? It just makes it smell nice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In between
Yeah.
flushes. Yeah.
Yeah, you need rubber gloves and a brush and
Also,
proper
when I
stuff.
ran out of toilet paper, it never replaced itself.
I know it's disgraceful, isn't it? Dreadful. Dreadful situation.
Stav, Abby, and Matt for breakfast. B105.
Oh, that's right. We're doing Mum's Gone Wild. So you were showing me internet videos and I forgot.
Girls have gone wild.
Girls Gone Wild.
It's gone wild.
We're mums who never get out and do anything.
Give me one margarita, two margaritas, give me three margaritas, margarita.
Mum's gone wild.
I love you. Chat. There's a lot of stuff, and I get really annoyed that I can't finish what I'm talking about because
The radio
song's
gets in the
ending.
way.
I know.
I would love to share it with the group. No, and I didn't even want to talk about this because I don't think it's a big deal. That's why. And you would like to express the difficulty of when your partner goes out.
I just don't think we talk about the struggle of men enough.
Yeah.
We really
silent
don't.
victims.
We really have to discuss it more.
Without tone, preferably.
Well,
There
that's a
was
big ask.
no tone.
That's a big ask.
We were just talking about Mum's Gone Wild.
Yes.
And we love it when the girls go out and
Because
they
they
enjoy
deserve
themselves.
it, yes,
Of course
yeah.
they do. Of course, everyone deserves to get out and have a good
But
time.
you did just state that your wife sometimes will invite people that she has never met until the night.
My wife has brought home randoms before.
Which sounds hot.
Yeah. But generally it's because someone couldn't get a cab or an Uber and it'll be Shelley. Shelley's the greatest. You're going to love Shelley. But Shelley lives in North Lakes. And she needs to be home at 8 o'clock tomorrow and you're dropping her home. I said, how do you do it? You wouldn't mind doing it, would you, baby? You can do it.
Does she talk to them in the morning, or is it like your problem?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah,
sometimes
when she's cooking bacon and eggs.
Yeah.
When he's cooking bacon and eggs.
she's a collector of humans, my wife.
See, I started
Dexter.
to reduce my, because I used to do long lunches on a Friday.
Yeah.
A lot. Every Friday. And it used to always start the same where I said to Scotty, and this, I think I only had 1 or 2 kids at this point, and I used to say to him, don't worry about it. I'm picking up the kids. It's all good. And he's like, just so you know, I can't keep doing this. I said, you're not going to do it. It's not going to do it. It's going to be fine. And then I would call him about 20 to 3 and I'd be like, in fact, it's not even my fault. I can't. You have to go and get them. So he used to pick up the kids and then I used to get a lecture when I got home. But then he stopped picking up his phone at 2:45.
Oh, well, you knew it was coming.
Yes.
Are you also...
So I went there in a
an Uber.
taxi and...
I bet you're the same person who says to the kids when you go out, I'll be home for bedtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now I am. But now I've learned because you can't do that anymore.
And
You know
then-
why I can't? You know honestly why I have to stop it? I'll be honest with you. Because there was a situation where I didn't pick up the kids and I couldn't get into the house, so I had a little bit of snooze on the doorstep and the kids took photos. So then they will send it to me at random time and it's not very flattering. So that's why I have stopped.
Oh, that when you're out, they text it to you that night, like when you go out again.
Hey, Mum, don't be like this. I was like, you're so judgy.
But don't have a good time.
They get that from their dad.
I do think,
Yes.
and I've always stated this,
Yeah.
girls'
Yep.
nights always looser than boys'
Way
nights.
worse. Way worse. Give me a room full of bucks
Just
parties
because we
and a
don't
comedy night
have
rather
them
than
as
hens.
often, so we don't have the experience
That
and
I
the
disagree
training
with.
that you guys do. That's why.
So we want to give the guys here a moment to celebrate their party wives or party partners and tell us what happened when they went out. We've hear all these stories from the girls' sites, but do you have a loose unit wife or girlfriend?
We've heard from the defence. We need to hear from the prosecution.
Yeah. And
13,
then
10, 16.
you'll organise them a dad's night out one day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's coming.
Yeah.
We wait long enough, AI will do it for us.
ChatGPT would probably organise a pretty good night out.
Yeah.
So, Justin, we want to hear from you, the fellas. What happened when your partner went out? Did you have to go and pick up 6 of her girlfriends from the valley
Sounds fun.
and then drop them off in every corner of southeast Queensland? 13, 10, 60. We will give you some tickets to give to one of your partners.
Oh, okay.
Yes, right? Best caller. All right, 13, 10, 60. We get you on next.
Stav, Abby, and Matt for breakfast. B105.
Girls have gone wild. Girls Gone Wild.
Gone Wild.
We're mums who never get out or do anything.
Give me one margarita, 2 margaritas, give me 3 margaritas, margaritas.
Mum's Gone Wild.
Mum's Gone Wild wasn't even my idea. I was thinking, no, girls, we shouldn't go out, you know?
Cancel it.
No.
Okay, sorry.
But Lauren, bless her heart, said, you know what, we just need a Mum's Gone Wild, especially before Friday's Live. We don't want to have first night fever. So we want to get it out of our system, just reconnect with ourselves and others so that we can get ready for the second half of the school year.
I've been in that conversation so many times. Oh, God, I'd love to stay home. Lauren needs a night out. She's been going
Did we
through a
invite
lot.
Lauren? We invited Lauren, didn't we?
Yeah, we invited Lauren.
She was the first one. But
great.
she needs it. Yeah, I've got to be there for her.
She doesn't. She's gone through so much at the moment.
But
Just
the other side of people who go through so much is, of course, the partners of these people who are left to pick up the pieces the next day. It's all fun and games until Sunday. We wanted to hear from them on 131060. Todd from Manly West has given us a call. Todd, you're one of the silent victims in this situation. What's happened to you?
Mate, my wife decided to go on a night out.
Mm-hmm.
About midnight, she said, I've had enough, you need to come and get me, which resulted in a $360 cab fare.
Oh.
Yes.
Where did she go?
We were living in northern New South Wales at the time, and she decided to go out in Byron with a few of her friends. And I believe once the first shoe was lost, she decided it was time to go home.
That's good.
And I'd been drinking, so the only way I could get her was a cab. And funnily enough, all her friends wanted to jump in the cab as well. So we did a bit of a cab hop all the way home, and $360 later.
No, see, that's when you weren't supposed to be doing anything and you're supposed to go and pick her up.
Oh, so he has to stay home and stay sober.
Yeah, is that what normally happens when one person's out, the other one needs to be responsible?
No. No, Todd, no.
Oh.
Doesn't work like that.
No.
Well, last time when Scotty went out and I had to do that and I picked up his mates and one of them said, can you drive me over the other side of town? And I was like, that is ridiculous. Why? And he said to me, I just need to get home to my kids and my wife and I don't feel like comfortable being out for so long. I was like, that is so sweet. So I dropped him off and I was like, bye, Andrew. Like, don't wake up them. And he goes, oh, I don't have any kids. And I said, are you serious? And he's like, nah, I don't have a wife, but there was a party over this way and I didn't think you'd give me a lift. I was like,
wow.
Back down to Woodridge now. I will not let him live it down.
Todd.
I don't know if it was the $360 cab fare or the bloke that thought he was going home with her that was the worst part.
Oh, wow.
Who was the guy who thought he was going home
The
with
guy
her?
that got in the cab, obviously.
Some random guy that was trying to get in the cab with us.
Wow. Right. Mind you, having said that, if he thought that, maybe she actually saved you $500 by letting him buy her drinks all night.
Yeah, potentially.
Potentially. Good on you, Todd. We look forward to meeting Amber, your wife, at Mum's Gone Wild.
Drivers, see you guys.
Good on you, lads.
He's like, yay.
Stav, Abby and Matt for breakfast. B105.
Did a bit of a spur-of-the-moment purchase on Friday. I went to the shops and I bought me a Nintendo Switch 2. And I was just chatting actually out in the producer's station there. We might all be getting one and then we're all going to play together. That's going to be fun.
Are you shouting us?
No.
No, I think he meant them.
Them. You can join in.
Oh, you're all buying one.
I thought you were like solely PlayStation.
Oh, what? Well, no, I had a Wii for a while.
Okay. So what's the difference and why did you need one if you've already got the latest PlayStation?
Because I'm looking for things I'm trying to keep up with Raws. I'm looking for things that we can both enjoy together. Because it used to be slime and Lego,
I know.
and now it's not.
It's all good.
And all the slime and Legos are sitting there going to waste. And sometimes I will play with it by myself, but that's besides the point. So I'm just trying to find something to do together. So I went and bought me.
Do you reckon she goes,
Switch.
oh no, not another one? But you know what? I think she's going to like it better than the baseball mitt you got her where you guys could play catch.
She did love that for a
For
while.
once. You went once.
Like 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
But
I feel
might
like
bring that
she's
back
just
out,
like,
actually.
oh, Mum, Dad's
loves it.
trying to find things. Like, how long do you reckon I'll have to play?
Well, the opposite is I ignore her. So I think
She's like, please.
Fight fire with fire, mate.
And it's a pretty good bit of kit, actually.
Okay, these are the ones that you can take with you.
Yeah. You can put the controllers onto the screen and walk around with it. And, of course, the flagship of it is Mario Kart. It
Yes.
came out with Mario Kart 8, which is a brand new Mario Kart game. I think you might be of the same generation, maybe slightly younger, but the Mario Kart was a big part of our childhoods.
That and GoldenEye on Nintendo 64.
I actually thought of you because I read the school newsletter for the first time. Do you know they're doing esports at school and they all compete in Mario Kart?
Do they?
That's what all the schools compete in. Is the one. You can't go.
That would be a time.
Well, it
Because the
makes
best thing
sense.
about Mario Kart, right, they've got it perfect where even if you're really good, if you're at the start, if you're in the lead, the power-ups that you get are crap, right? But
Yes.
everyone behind you gets things that can just annihilate you, so it's almost better to be in the middle of the pack.
I just thought it was
right?
interesting that that's the game that they still will
Well,
compete
it's
in.
safe for, I guess, all kids
that's
to do
true.
it. They couldn't do Call of Duty or GTA.
Yeah.
No,
Imagine
that's
that.
true, yeah.
And now all the schools come together and compete in Grand Theft Auto.
Ooh,
Look at Thomas beating up a prostitute and then stealing her car. Capital. They actually just did a survey, though, and found out that Mario Kart is the number one stressful game of all time.
Really?
Followed by Call of Duty.
So is Rory excited?
Well, this was the thing, because you never know. Because I got her a couple of games on the PlayStation that I got a friend who works in gaming. I was like, what's a good one for A, for kids and B, for specifically girls? And he recommended a couple. Didn't really get into them. So, all right, well, that's fine. She could have gone the other way. Loves Mario Kart.
Great.
Loves it.
For
Slight
your
problem.
sake.
Slight problem.
She wants to play with her friends, not you.
No, she's fine. She's fine playing with me. She can play online too, but we were playing. I can't tell you the amount of hours I've sunk into that game over the course of my life. In my share house with Danny Boy and Francie and Tim, it was just 24/7 Mario Karting.
She's better than you, isn't she?
She beat me the second time she played, and I had to tell her to go away.
And you're not allowed to play with my game anymore.
Just go for a walk. I just need to. You don't understand. Just give me a minute. And now I need to. We got anything on after the show? Because I've only got like 6 hours before she gets home from school, and I need to cram.
Do you remember when you used to play these games with our boss?
Yes.
And you never used to speak to him at work
No.
at all. Like
No.
they wouldn't have any conversations.
Yeah.
And then he'd go home and he'd be
Shoot
like,
him in the face.
yeah. And then even
car
one day
soccer
he
one?
called in
Yeah,
sick,
Rocket
and then
League.
he was still playing with him. I was like, this is so weird.
I'd literally be playing going, I'm sure he's got things to do because we're not doing well.
And
in
he's
the
going the
ratings.
same going.
And he'd be on the other end of his PlayStation.
He should be getting content for tomorrow's show, shouldn't he?
Yeah.
Same thing.
And then it'd be like, don't tell each other that we're playing all night. I was like, this is ridiculous, you guys.
Yeah.
But are you
Then-
proud, though, that she's so good? Not, you
I
don't
would
want
have
to
been
be.
proud if I'd have taught her.
If it makes you feel better, my brother is going through the same thing.
Is he?
wanted to get his son into golf, right? And
yeah.
he just really, really loved it. And I spoke to him and I said, how'd you go on the weekend? You know? And he goes, oh, I'm not too good at the moment. I can't really talk about it. And I was like, why? And he goes, oh, my son bet me. And I went, oh, that's great. And he goes, it's actually really not. Like, I'm
Yeah.
stressed anymore. I'm not inviting him to games. I was like,
Yeah.
you can't compete with your son. He goes, I didn't start it. He got better than me. I'm like, you did.
I mean, it's always easy. You just do the dad thing. You go, yeah, let her win.
Let her win.
You know, I want to build her up.
But I didn't.
Stav, Abby, and Matt for breakfast. B105.
The girls have gone wild. Girls gone wild.
They've gone wild.
We're mums who never get out or do anything.
Give me one margarita, 2 margaritas, give me 3 margaritas, margarita.
Mum's gone wild.
Mum's Gone Wild, 28th of June, and we want you there. If you're a mum, identify as a mum, just need a night out, whatever, come along. You can go to b105.com.au, click on the win page. It's going to be at Retros, which is going to be a fantastic night. One person that actually, I guess, presented their case of why they need to go along with their group of friends as well, I must say. And I did like it. It was kind of like a proposal about why we need her there.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Megan.
Yes, good morning.
Morning. Now, you're going to come along with a group of 5 because I believe you go everywhere together?
We do. We're definitely that squad that goes together everywhere and causes a little chaos, but it's always fun chaos. So,
Just innocent chaos.
What about for the people around you, Megan?
well, I mean, I guess if you let us come, you'll be able to see for yourself. So.
I'd like to hear what happened last time you went to a day spa, Megan.
Oh, gosh, I can't believe I'm telling this. But look, okay, imagine 5 exhausted mums, one very fancy day spa and way too much champagne.
Mm-hmm.
So we kick things off in the spa because it's one of these places where you can go around and do a few different things,
Yep.
you know, maxo, relaxo.
Yep.
So in the spa, we had a couple of cheeky glasses of bubbles, and then we head in for our massages, which is fantastic. You know, we're feeling amazing until we realise that mixing hot spa, champagne, and full body massage basically turns you into a dehydrated, giggling jellyfish. So we floated back to this bar, had a few more tips. Probably shouldn't have. A few more laughs, a few more giggles, probably way too loud for the other people in the day spa. So we were gently suggested that our time at the spa had come to an end.
Right.
You got kicked out of a day spa?
Well, translation, I think, was we're going to get you out of here because you're disrupting everybody else.
Yeah, you're supposed to be quiet. It's supposed to be a bit of relaxation, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. We were having a great time, but I feel like, you know, perhaps, we might have been a little bit too boisterous for them. But anyway, we get escorted. Yeah, I was just going to say, you've got to, I guess, probably more suited for retros than the day spa now that we think about it. But anyway.
So you got escorted out.
So, well, they gently suggested, and so we wandered out the front. We're still in our swimmers, we're still in our towels, and we're outside of this bougie day spa waiting for our ride when one of the girls shouts, "Yay, that's my hubby," who's our ride. And in true mum squad spirit, we egged her on to give him a cheeky flash as he drove past. Except it wasn't her hubby. It was the same car, wrong guy, and it turned out to be the husband of the day spa owner.
And he has gone to work for her every day since, just in case.
Oh,
He's
dear.
going to drive past retros.
Oh, look, it is going to be a fun night for you and your girls, and you need to leave, 14 kids between you?
We have 14 kids between us, which is probably why we get a little bit cray-cray when we get on our own. Yeah.
It doesn't happen enough. So, I mean, not cray-cray, but you getting it together. So it's going to be fun.
All right.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. We are so excited for this. We can't wait.
All right. Well, the flashing crew, you guys are in. We will see you there June 28th. Mum's gone wild.
Oh, my God. Oh, you're amazing. I can't wait.
All right. If you want to register, you just got to tell us your story, b105.com.au. Coming up after 8 o'clock, though, we're going to talk to the men of these ladies who are coming along.
The silent victims.
Well, you've got a few stories that you always say you don't like girls' nights out because Esther always...
She brings home random.
They're not randoms because she's met them. They're friends now.
One morning, 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Baby, are you awake? No, I'm currently unconscious because I can't even remember this guy's name. Let's just call her Rochelle. Rochelle's upstairs. Who's Rochelle? I don't. We met her at the club. Can you drop her home in the morning, please?
Unbelievable.
Just some random girl who came home for prees. She'd never met her in her life. She's now asleep in our spare bedroom, and I'm dropping her home on the north side.
So it's like therapy. If you'd like to vent like Maddie just did, gentlemen, that is your chance to explain why you might not be looking forward to the 28th, or rather the 29th.
Yeah.
Do you have a loose
partner? No.
Do you have a partner that when they go out it turns into a huge night?
There you go.
Probably worded a bit better.
13 10 60. Guys, feel free to call right now here at B105.
Stav, Abby and Matt for breakfast. B105.
I'm not afraid of going to counselling at drop of a hat because I like to pay a lot of money just for someone to make my husband listen. That's what I always sell to him. No, we've just been fighting so much lately over kids, and we're also put added stress of building a house that we've wanted to do for 15 years, and now I know why we've put it off. So I was like, we need to actually sort it out. So we waited for another 6 months before we finally did it. Found someone that we're like, we just want to get it over quickly as opposed to going for years. So we found Michael Brook. He's from Rapid Couple Counselling. Hey, Michael.
Hey, Abby, how you doing?
When we walked in, did you just think, oh, God, these no hope?
No, you guys are easy. Like, some people come in and literally the moment they get in, they're screaming at each other. I've had couples like yelling so loud, people 20 metres away through 2 doors can hear them. So you guys are fine.
I guess we came in and we were like, we love each other. We want to stay together. We just don't want to argue and we want to be on the same page. And I think you just cut straight through it and were very honest about, I guess, how to solve it, where I felt like sometimes in the past we're going to see someone that's a bit airy-fairy.
So a lot of people come to me and they say, we're not on the same page or we have communication problems. my approach to that is that I've never met a communication problem that I can't solve with a desire solution. Now, a lot of people get to the point where they feel like they're not communicating with their partner when they are actually communicating well and just not paying attention to the communications going back and forth between them through their behaviour. And so over a period of time, people lose desire, as in desire to relate with their partner. If there's one thing that people don't understand about relationships, is that desire is not a natural function. It's not normal, nor is it natural to desire your partner over time. And then when people lose desire for their partner, you know, the stuff they do annoys the crap out of them, or you're really, really stressed, like, you know, I don't know, renovating a house, having multiple children, having busy careers, and all the stress piles on, then people stop behaving desirably. They come to me and they go, we have communication problems. When actually the problem is that they lose desire for their partner. When they get both people behaving desirably, all of a sudden the communication problems disappear.
Now, when you say that, I'm assuming some of that is bedroom, but then also acting desirably is in the way that you speak to each other?
Yeah, so there are two types of desire. There's sexual desire, as in when they're naked, you want to have sex with them. But there's desire to, or the wanting of someone, desire to have a relationship with them. And you can love someone, you can care for them, you can want to have sex when they're naked, but you can not want to be in a relationship with them because they haven't met your needs in 10 years, and you're looking at them going, why am I with this person? And at the beginning of the relationship, people do things that are inherent, there are some behaviours that are inherently desirable, but people stop doing that over time.
Because we were sort of, you know, you're saying that where you're like, it seems so, I don't know, you always think, well, if you're in love with each other, you should, you know, always want to hang out with each other or always be able to be tolerant. But it is interesting when I even look at my parents and they've been married for so long and I'm like, well, surely you know that about each other, but they become less tolerant. And that's what's so crazy when you're like, oh, after 30 years, why did someone get divorced? But as you're saying, you do become less tolerant as time goes on.
Yeah, that's right. And like, you know, there are certain behaviours that are inherently desirable. You know, being kind to your partner. Well, it's easy to say but difficult to do when you've got kid stress, when you've got mortgage stress, when you've got house stress. I mean, you guys wake up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and you're constantly, you know, slightly sleep deprived most of the time. That can put stress in a relationship. And there's all this kind of stresses pile on. People are super stressed, well, their emotional reactivity is very high. And then you say and do things that you probably wouldn't do if you weren't stressed. And then those little kind of damages to the relationship accumulate over time. And then people stop showing up desirably because, you know, 2 years ago your partner said blah, 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 and you haven't gone over it, right? You know? The relationships are driven by friction minimization. You're just trying to not wake up in the morning and stab your partner in the eyes with some blunt chopsticks, right?
Stop talking from my wife's mouth.
Is there something to be said for the fact that monogamy is not inherently natural in humans?
Okay. Well, this is an interesting comment. Like, I actually think in the vast majority of societies we look at, there appears to be a lifelong monogamous pair bond at the centre of the society.
Right.
When I talk to the vast majority of my clients, particularly ones who are cheated, who've been cheated on, and I deal with about 100 couples like that a year, I don't need to tell them monogamy is unnatural. If I said to them monogamy is unnatural, they go, hang on, I'm feeling completely devastated because my partner went and banged somebody else. If you have a look at the pattern of human relationship formation, and particularly with respect to sexuality, and from a very, very broad anthropological perspective, you would say the normal pattern of human relationships is a lifelong monogamous pair bond with a spattering of affairs.
Right.
And so, but most societies are built on monogamy. I do have clients that come in who can sometimes tolerate polygamy or polyamory or ethical non-monogamy, but even then, those people have to do a lot of accommodation and they have to deal with a lot of jealousy by carrying out that experience. You know, a lot of people will wait to things right on the edge. They're talking about separation, divorce before they go, hey, maybe we should talk to someone who can fix this. You know?
Well, I guess that's the difference. I've always gone to therapy over things. So I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. It's normal for us to be able to do it. And then after you're kind of like, oh, that's really fun. We kind of learned some stuff. And Scotty went and got a haircut. So, you know, there was win-win.
How did the haircut come out of therapy?
Well, we had homework, didn't we, Michael, after our first session?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, not a haircut was not it, but one thing is to work on yourself.
Yeah.
You know, when you kind of go, it seems so basic, but you do kind of go, all right, well, what do they need to fix rather than what do I actually need to fix myself? And, you know, take care of yourself so that you can be more desirable for the other person.
Most people, when they're in crisis, will come to me and go, well, he should be doing this and she should be doing that and he should be doing this. If I buy into either of those arguments, I'm doing everybody a disservice.
Yeah.
To be kindness, generosity, give your partner your time and attention. Turn off your mobile phones. Do things together that's fun. When was the last time you did something together that's fun? And they look at me with blank stares going, oh, we had some fun 4 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Michael, really appreciate your time this morning. rapidcouplescounselling.com.au is your website if you want to check that out.
No worries. I have a YouTube channel with 500 videos on it. So if you want to check out my YouTube channel, go for that. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks so much.
Michael.
Stav, Abby, and Matt.
Alpha Bucks, we're going to play tomorrow, 6, 7 and 8. $50,000 could be yours. Hit us with some answers, Stabby boy.
6 a.m. it's T, tilt, triangle, and technology. 7 a.m. it's N. You got New York, Nala, and naughty. And 8 a.m. it's K, and you got Kiki K, koi fish, and Kathmandu.
Right up. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Stav, Abby, and Matt for breakfast. B105.